All right. Aloha, everyone. Welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show. It's episode 3 of season 18. And today we're going to discuss Navigator Guardians and accessibility to thrive. I know, sounds great, doesn't it? We're going to have a great show. I'm your host, Savy, the founder of Give Me a Break. We're a nonprofit organization that cares for caregivers, and we are an all volunteer organization. And so we're here, all of us together, to bring joy back to caregiving. And each week, we help you caregivers to survive. Yes, it is a survival, and a lot of you know I throw this statistic out there, and apparently I'm throwing something else out there. Hang on one second. All right, and I'm back. But that statistic is that 40% of caregivers are going to pass before the ones they're caring for. Now, caregiving shouldn't be a death sentence, It should be a joy. And we want to bring that joy back. So we help you to survive. In fact, did you know that every 34 seconds, someone in America has a heart attack? 34 seconds. Let's count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 34 seconds heart attack. Bang. And do you know what that means? That means that every 34 seconds, someone has to become a caregiver. Yeah. And, a couple other statistics I've done through this season was every 15 seconds, someone's diagnosed with Alzheimer's or some sort of dementia. So every 15 seconds, someone becomes a caregiver. I'm sorry, 65 seconds. Every 15 seconds, somebody's diagnosed with terminal cancer. And so every 15 seconds, someone becomes a caregiver. I mean, it's just understanding that to everything that happens, there's going to be a caregiver that's going to be there. And so, boy, we need to care for those caregivers, and they're dropping at the rate of 40%. And that's not even good, right? And yet they provide this care silently in the background, almost invisible. Well, we're here to bring you out. We're here to show you some light. And I'll tell you that doesn't have to be a death sentence. You can survive this. And we're going to make sure you do. And one of the ways to survive, I'll tell you, one of the best things you could do, of course, is to laugh. I know it's really hard to laugh when you're in these situations, but I have somebody here that can show you how to do that in a moment. And so bringing our laughter specialist, an extraordinaire person back is truly an honor. She's a social media sensation, a world-renowned laughter leader, an award-winning empowerment coach, and just an amazing, amazing person. You all know who I'm talking about. We're bringing back Bianca. Hi, Bianca. Aloha.
Hi.
Good day, mate.
Good day.
She came on today and she says aloha. And so I said, all right, well, then I'll say good day, mate, because, you all know she's in Australia. And maybe one day we'll actually have her here in Hawaii. So well, Bianca, you know what to do. It's great to have you here. I'm going to turn it all over to you for our mindful moment.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. For those who've seen me and tuned in before, we are laughing on purpose for the health of it, reducing stress chemicals, boosting those feel-good hormones in our bodies, and letting go of a little bit of the heaviness that we're carrying as humans in a busy world, as caregivers. So let's take a deep breath in and just sigh it out. Taking a deep breath in, sighing it out. Maybe rolling the shoulders. We'll get a little laughter going. The more you choose to laugh, the easier it becomes. Maybe rolling the other way if you haven't already changed. And we're going to breathe in and stretch up, maybe stretching out wide today. Reaching up to the sky, and we're going to laugh out and shake out. Breathing in, reaching up. You might sigh this one out. Shaking out as you sigh. Breathing in, reaching hands out to the side and right up to the top. Little giggles as you shake out. I just hit my knuckles on the desk. That hurt. Breathing in, reaching up. Stretching, feeling that stretch, that length in your body. Shaking out, and your choice, sighing or laughing. I'm going to laugh. Letting go. One more, and we're going to sigh this one out. And I want you to just think of anything you're holding on to, physically, mentally, emotionally. Just let it go right here, right now. Let's shake it out. Let it fall to the ground. If you want it later, you can pick it up or you can leave it there. It's totally your choice. Okay, we're warmed up a little in our bodies. I hit my finger on the desk before. I'm fine. It didn't hurt too much, but it reminded me that we can laugh when we get hurt, when we stub our toe, when something like that happens. We can choose to laugh because it boosts endorphins, which are our natural painkillers within our bodies. So one of my favorites, I think we've done it here before, is like a hot coffee laughter. You might have a hot chocolate or a tea. Imagine having that hot beverage with you. It's piping hot. You can see the steam coming off it, but somehow you can't wait to sip it. Grab it. We'll take a sip. Oh! Okay, let's do it together. Make sure you've got yours. Ready? Pretending to take a sip, realizing it's way too hot, and laughing. You might stick your tongue out if you're listening on audio. Trying again. Oh, no, it's still too hot. Fan your mouth. Okay, this time give it a nice big blow, breathing in, blowing on the hot surface of that drink. Maybe one more time, just to be safe. And taking a sip and tasting that drink of your choice, something that you love and enjoy. Drinking it in. Drinking another little sip. Breathing in. Taking a sip. Humming out. One more, breathing in. Little sip, tasting the flavor. Putting your cup down beside you, giving yourself a little squeeze, a little self-hug. Remembering that you can take a break, take a cup of tea, coffee, lemonade, whatever it is, and make sure you're taking those mindful moments, those breaks for yourself, and laughing through life's challenges or little pains in the butt, pains in the body. We can laugh through those to feel differently, think differently, and be different. If you'd love to laugh with me some more, you can find me on YouTube or on the Laughly app. That's laugh with an L-Y on the end. And I look forward to seeing you and laughing with you again next week.
Wonderful. I love that. That's so awesome. Leave it on the ground. You can pick it up later. That is awesome.
keep the coffee though. Keep the drink for yourself.
I can't wait for what you're going to share again next week. And I can't even express every week how much it means to all of us as caregivers and how much I get back in feedback from caregivers that they appreciate your mindful moments. So thank you so much, Bianca. We're excited to see you next week. Aloha.
Thank you. Mahalo. Aloha.
Yes. There we go. I got it. There we go. And again, you can always contact her. You can always download. If you can't wait till next week, don't worry about it. Do it like me on the daily. Just download the Laughly app. It's free and it'll get you giggling. And trust me, we don't laugh enough. And especially as caregivers, we really need to start seeing the sunny side of things. And so download the app. And you can contact Bianca this way as well on her YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bianca Spears, or through the Laughly app. Okay, great, wonderful. And let's get on with the shoe. I will say that, one of the things that Give Me a Break we're trying to do is that we're here to support caregivers. And, doing that takes your help and support. We need that. And so you can become a monthly donor and help support us. And just simply go to gab808.org and sign up to be a monthly donor. And of course, you can also use this QR code right here on the top of the screen and just scan that if you're watching us live right now. You can make a difference. You can make a difference to those who are invisible, those who are unsupported. And just know that we'll do everything we can. All of our services are free. We don't charge for our services. And we're here to help caregivers. And sometimes it might just mean that a caregiver needs to know about a resource or needs to get connected to the thing to help them. And they just can't see that. Knowing there's a person here for them, knowing that our volunteers and all of us are here for them to help them and to help them get through it is sometimes just what they needed. And of course, each week we have our support group. Our support sessions are every Tuesday night without fail, online on Zoom. And you can join in if you're caregiving now, if you were caregiving, if you see it coming, by all means, join us. If you're not even caregiving, but you just want a community of people who care, we're here. And right now we're going through the wellness wheel. So we're going through all the different spokes on the wellness wheel. Last night we talked about physical wellness and the importance of how to be in touch with yourself physically. We even discussed how laughter can help you. And so we're all here. We're just a bunch of caregivers just like you. This is your safe space, your community. Tune in any Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Just join us on Zoom. And there's the number to punch in. If you can't see that, here you go. Let me get that banner down. You can always go to our website again, gab808.org/support sessions. So there you go. And you can just log in right from there. All right. Hope to see you, hope to meet you, and know that you have a community and you have a place to go, place to connect with other caregivers just like you. Because, navigating caregiving is really tough. And it's like you're thrown out in a boat and you don't know which way to go, right? You're Moana. You don't even know how to steer the thing. And you keep falling off that canoe. Well, we're not going to let that happen. And today we have some of the best navigators out there. In fact, I call them navigators because that's how they got their name. They put the word navigator and guardian together and it became Navian. And so today we're really honored to welcome the president and CEO of Navian Hawaii, Dan Haire. Welcome. Aloha, Dan. There you are. Hi. Can you hear me? No.
Can't hear.
You can't hear me. Maybe I can hear you. It might be that your speaker is off. I know we checked it, so let's try that. Edit.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
There, try that now. Switch to a speaker, maybe. I know that's really weird because we did a check before. Well, thanks, everybody. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right.
All right.
I can hear you. Sorry about that.
We got this. That's okay. Good. So good to have you here. Thank you. Aloha, Dan. And thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So one of the things we ask all of our guests is to kind of share your caregiving journey.
So I have been a caregiver in a licensed standpoint. I started as a CNA about 28 years ago, went to nursing school, and that's really kind of my caregiving background. I haven't had the opportunity yet with my family to be a personal caregiver. So I've spent the majority of my adult life not just being a licensed caregiver as a nurse, but once I got into leadership about 20 years ago, now my role is to help care for our licensed caregivers. So that's the first part of my care journey. And then the second is now helping to create systems for communities to be able to support caregivers, particularly around patients who have a serious illness or a terminal illness.
Yeah, awesome. And I mean, and don't ever negate the fact that if you're not a family caregiver, you're not a caregiver. I mean, bosses are caregivers, right? And being in the nursing field are some of the most glorious and well-deserved caregivers out there. So I constantly, just whether you get paid for it or not, you're doing double duty sometimes, right? You're a caregiver getting paid, and then you go home and have to care for either your children or your person you're with, or pets or plants or whatever. So caregiving.
You're exactly right. And that's one of the biggest messages that we've had to our staff, especially the types of patients and their families that we take care of. It can be very, very stressful. And so we create a lot of wellness and a lot of work-life balance type of support structures for our staff so that they have something to give our families and our patients when they enter the home. Because you guys all know as caregivers that if you don't have your own internal reserve, you don't have anything to give. And so that's really a big mantra for us at Navian Hawaii.
Yeah. And I really, I think that we don't always recognize the caregiver within companies and within all of the work that you're doing, because if you didn't have the experience you have and you were in the position you probably couldn't get all of these things out there for caregivers, which is so needed. And I can see how this led you to be where you are today. So tell us about what Navian does.
So we've been a nonprofit here in Hawaii for 48 years now, started in 1979. And essentially, we focus on hospice and palliative care patients, so terminally ill patients and seriously ill patients. So that's really kind of our core business that we've been doing here in Hawaii for about 47 years. And so hospice and palliative care isn't just about caring for the patient. A lot of what we do with our licensed clinical team is about supporting the caregivers. And so that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you today about, Savy, and your audience, is how important it is for everybody to understand that there are covered solutions here in Hawaii that can allow for a caregiver to get the support that you need caring for somebody who has a serious illness or a terminal illness. So essentially what we do when I talk about serious illness and who would qualify for that is somebody who has multiple medical conditions that really impacts quality of life, a patient who has to go to the hospital once or twice a year for a sudden problem, or you're always on the phone to the doctor multiple times a month because symptoms are getting worse or there's progression in disease, et cetera. So those are really the people that we're talking about for serious illness. And of course, right, terminal illness and hospice is for patients who have 6 months or less to live. So that's kind of our core thing that we are really wrapping our arms around. And we've been doing that for a long time. But another thing that we're working to drive is, because aging and the aging population here in Hawaii is just growing rapidly, and which means you were talking earlier about the statistics around how many more caregivers every second are coming online. And so what we are trying to do is we are bringing an aging in place kind of a care model directly to homes, or where a patient calls home. We're doing that through our palliative care program, and we're wanting to start getting patients further upstream. So, Savy, what that means is we're not just necessarily targeting those who are really, really sick. We want to start moving gradually further up and younger, so that we can start catching these patients and their families and caregivers once they start to tip. and start to get sick.
Yeah. And I love that.
So this model, we basically are using nurse practitioners and physicians and social workers and chaplains and care aides and folks to take into the home to help reduce the need for the hospitalizations, to help reduce the need to have to go back and forth to the doctor so many times. There's just a burden for the caregivers to have to do all that, and it's a burden on our healthcare system. And the biggest reason why we're trying to fill that gap is because people just trying to get the care that they need for their loved one.
Yeah.
And so that's been high on our radar, and something that we are starting this year is doing that in-home community-based primary care work on top of what we're doing with hospice.
And Dan, I love that because, I love that because a lot of times people hear hospice and they think it's only end of life, but what you're doing is not, of course you have end of life and you're doing that, but you're also looking before that, and all of a sudden you went off screen, there you are. And so, I think the thing too is that, boy, could I have moved you, right? When I had my mother, it wasn't until she got into hospice that I really understood all the things that could happen before that, and the care that my mother could get, that I could get, and preventive care as well, and having all of those people come into your home and be able to do that can make or break the whole caregiving experience. So I love that you have, especially palliative care, and that's such a wonderful thing that you offer, and I think more people need to know about that. So thank you for that, and for the programs you have for caregivers. Yes. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you were saying?
So I think the biggest thing to understand is that there is a massive need for what we do, and we have the capacity to be able to fill that need. And the earlier we can get involved with a family, the better the outcomes are going to be for them. And so when we can bring one of these patients who are having some complex illnesses under our palliative care umbrella, it doesn't mean you stop treatment. It doesn't mean you can't still see your doc. It doesn't mean any of those things. It's now a protective umbrella around you as a caregiver and around your loved one. And then earlier access to that palliative care program actually has much better wellness outcomes for the patient, from a mental illness standpoint, from a symptom management standpoint. It helps the caregiver. And then it also leads to earlier access to hospice in an appropriate way, which is good because there have been studies that have shown that a caregiver who takes care of a patient who does not have hospice and ultimately dies, they have a higher mortality rate than a caregiver who actually the person they were caring for went through hospice. And so earlier access to all these programs, as you said, is massive for you as a caregiver. And they're all covered by insurance. And so there's really no reason not to get in. It's just a lack of awareness that this is available.
Yeah, a lack of awareness and not knowing you have this resource. I didn't know, right? And I don't know. I'm not super smart, but I'm pretty smart. I think that thrown into a situation, I would be able to find those answers. But that's why I wanted you on the show, and that's why I'm so excited to talk about this, because I really believe caregivers need to know you have these options, and that you don't have to worry about the money sometimes. And so sometimes they'll go, "Oh, but how much is it going to cost me?" Don't worry about that.
Right.
Contact those wonderful people at Navian, and they'll help you. They're there to help you navigate it. I love that.
Yep. And as a nonprofit, we take every patient. So if you don't have insurance, it's fine. You can be in our program and we'll cover it. That's what we use donations for. And we have generous donors who give us ample amount of funds to be able to do that type of work. So we don't turn anybody away for inability to pay. So if you don't have insurance at all, don't worry about it. Just call us. If you need our help, and you don't need a referral from a physician either for this. So anybody can call anytime. Our number's on our website. You can contact us through the website, and then we can get somebody out even the same day to be able to have a conversation.
Wow, that's incredible. And so again, it's on the screen there. Just basically, you guys, navianhawaii.org, or you can call 808-924-9255. And so if you're listening on podcast, not on seeing it on the screen, it's Navian, Navian, Hawaii.org, 808-924-9255. Boy, I am so glad you're here today. And I feel like we could just use up more time, but we don't want to. So I want to give you a chance to, any last things you want to talk about, or anything up and coming that you want to discuss, and go ahead and your final thoughts then, Dan.
I'll leave you with this. Anytime I get an opportunity to speak to an audience, the thing I want to tell everybody is thinking about palliative care and hospice care for a loved one is not about giving up hope. Everybody talks about we don't want to give up. We still want to fight. We still want to have hope. The point of what we're doing in palliative care and then ultimately in hospice, though, is not about giving up hope. It's about putting our hope in something different. It's instead of putting our hope behind medical management and getting well, we put our hope behind quality of life and time with family and friends and better support for my loved one and those types of things. That's the hope that we place in when you start talking about calling us for palliative care or hospice. It's not about giving up hope. It's just about putting your hope in something different.
I love that so much. And you're not alone.
Right.
You know, caregivers tend to feel so alone and so isolated, and you're not, and you don't have to be. You don't have to choose that. Your burden is lighter when shared.
That's right.
And I love that, and I really appreciate you making the time. I know you're very busy, so thank you for that, Dan, and thank you for coming on today. And of course, if you guys have any questions, just contact them at navianhawaii.org, 808-924-9255. Mahalo, Dan. Have a wonderful day today. I really appreciate you making the time to come on.
Thanks, Savy. Aloha.
Yeah, see ya. Aloha. All right, there we go. Boy, I think we just got visited by an angel. So there you go. What an incredible thing. And I think I'll tell you guys, there are so many things out there for caregivers. I know you don't know that they are, but we're going to keep bringing them to you. We're just going to keep bringing them to you. And mahalo for your heart, Dan, for all that you do, and everyone at Navian. And everyone that I've met is amazing and has such great heart. So thank you for that. And don't hesitate to contact them, you guys. Do it. If you didn't get any of that information, you know how to get a hold of me. You know how to get a hold of us at Give Me a Break, and we can get that number and connect you to those resources. Because that's what the Caring Caregiver Show is all about. We're here to connect you to resources, and that's what Give Me a Break does. So one of the things also that we do is we give you the Giver's Guides magazine. And the Giver's Guides magazine is a caregiver's guides to caregiving. And so it's written exclusively for caregivers, by caregivers, and from your point of view. And it's one of the best resources you can have in the palm of your hands. And I say the palm of your hand, not because you're holding a magazine, because our Giver's Guides magazine is an online magazine. And so because it's online, you can take it with you anywhere you have to go. If you're sitting in the doctor's office, you can read an article about 5 ways to practice mindfulness in the palm of your hand. So here's the June issue. And just this little peek there. Yes, that's my dad. I love this whole season. I'm going to love showing you this one because I get to see my dad. And so it's our once a year men's issue. And so we dedicate an issue just to men who are caregiving. And, my dad was a caregiver for my mom. They hid my mother's diagnosis of dementia, and my father eventually succumbed to caregiver burnout. And so, had things been differently, who knows, right? If he would have been able to have survived. If Give Me a Break had been around then, would he have survived? Would he have not been a statistic? We don't know. But I do know that as long as Give Me a Break's here now, we're going to try to change that statistic moving forward. And so you can easily just get this magazine, and we don't just give it to you. You have to actually make a donation. So make a donation to Give Me a Break, and the magazine is 12 issues, 12 monthly issues is our gift back to you. Wow, what a great thing, right? So you help us support caregivers, and we give you something in return. That's our gift. No, it's not a blanket. It's not a stuffed animal. You're going to get something that's going to help you to survive caregiving. So we give life in a magazine. 12 issues is what you'll get by making a donation. Just go to gab808.org and donate today. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Like I said, it's all volunteer. So that money goes straight to helping caregivers. Not only is it tax deductible, it helps caregivers directly. All right. Okay, so good. With that, I want to make a big announcement. Do you need a break? I'll tell you what, we got one coming up. How about a break in a beautiful garden? Because guess what's coming up? Our yearly garden retreat is coming up on June 22nd, right around the corner here on Monday. Head over from 10 to 1, head over to the Liliuokalani Botanical Gardens. If you don't know where that is, just Google it, but the address is right here on the flyer. And of course, you can see it on our website as well. Just go to gab808.org/retreat and register. You don't have to register. It just helps us get a count so we know how many people are going to be there. And we appreciate it. And you'll get a confirmation with more details about what to bring and what to do and where to meet. So join us. We're going to do we're going to stroll through a beautiful botanical garden. And I mean stroll, because Savy don't walk at a pace. We stroll. And we're going to do some grounding exercises. I've got mindful meditations with Marilyn, and Lonnie's going to be getting you in touch with your 5 different senses. And it's free. This is just an opportunity for you to get out, get in the sun, and get in a beautiful garden and breathe this wonderful, pure air. So I hope you can join us. I'd love to see you there. By the way, it's a physical level 1. In other words, that's right at the bottom there. So you're fine. Bring your walkers and your wheelchairs, or bring your carry with you. We move at a very slow, leisurely pace, so everyone can do this. All right. And don't worry, there's accessibility. You can get in there. There's handicap parking. It's all sidewalks and all paved. And so we can get you through there. We provide that accessibility for you. It's a wonderful place to do this. In fact, speaking of accessibility, great segue, Savy. My next guest provides accessibility, and you know that is everything. Again, I wish I had this resource. I wish I had her here when my mother became non-ambulatory. Because it was a whole new world to discover, what I didn't know and what I know now, right? But I'll tell you, she's here today for you. She wasn't there for me, but she was here for you. She's here for you today. So please welcome, Catia Garell, a co-founder and accessibility specialist with Thrive for Life. Aloha, Cat. Welcome.
Aloha. Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. So tell us your caregiving story.
Well, let's see. Similar to the previous speaker, I am a healthcare professional. I'm an occupational therapist by background. I'm in my 25th year of practicing occupational therapy. And so I would say my first, real experience was professionally. As an occupational therapist, we work with people who have had an injury or an illness or some kind of decline, and they need to get back into their activities of daily living. So feeding, dressing, toileting, bathing, that's our area of expertise. And so as I started practicing, and caring for my patients and my caseload, so that was 8 to 10 patients a day for many, many years, I started to also look at what we're doing as healthcare professionals is also impacting the caregivers. And really kind of starting to think, hey, wait, what's going on with them as well? I mean, we have to build rapport with them, especially for occupational therapy. Usually something significant has happened for somebody to need an occupational therapist. So they're likely also going to have a caregiver, paid or not, helping them in their recovery phase or a transition to a new normal. That lasted and continues to this day as my professionally, I've been caring for my clients and consumers and their caregivers. Personally, I would say that's probably about 15 years now ago. My mom ended up suffering from dementia, and really having to care for her was eye-opening and exhausting and relentless. And I was able to use my OT hat, but then taking that off and really just being immersed in the experience. It was overwhelming at times. So I'm really pleased to hear all this resources and support that you're providing for our community.
Yeah, I can so relate with that. And all our listeners know and watchers know that I took care of my mother as well. And, that's the hardest thing, to watch someone you love and your mother or a parent of any kind, or, just slowly disappear, and it's just a long journey, and it takes a lot out of you. But, having the resources, having the experience, that kind of changes the whole thing. And that's why, I think that was so wonderful for you to be able to have that knowledge that you had all those years, and helping others, and being able to do that again for your mom. But still a very hard and long journey. And like I said in the beginning, when my mom did become non-ambulatory, it happened all so fast. I didn't even know what kind of wheelchair to get her. Someone gave us one, so we used it, but it wasn't optimum. And, nobody takes the time to kind of talk you through that. Even before, when she was ambulatory, I didn't really have like grab bars, and I had to hold her in the shower with me, and so just interesting how, I did what I did because I thought I was doing the best I could, and I was trying to find information about it, but I would have never thought to call Thrive for Life for something like that, right? Because that's also, and that helps you as a caregiver too, right? Not only maybe would you need those services, but having those things makes life a lot easier, right?
Yeah. So I would say about 15 years ago, I noticed there was this disconnect between us therapists in the hospital, telling family members, okay, that your loved one's ready for discharge home. Now go get a ramp, go get grab bars, go find a contractor, go figure out how to pay for this thing, maybe get permits. And then also, by the way, if you rent, go talk to your landlord about this thing. Oh, but then that is just on top of that, care for your loved one who is in pain and needing all these other variables. And so it just was this thing right in front of me and my business partner, who's also an occupational therapist, and Damian Sempio. And we decided to start a business called Thrive for Life. And it's a comprehensive start to finish home modification consulting firm. So we take the guessing out of home modifications, from small, medium, and large scale home modifications. So your comment about a wheelchair, when I'll just use that example, as a caregiver, she might have been issued a quote unquote wheelchair, or been told by a therapist, okay, maybe these are the things you need to do, or not. But actually holding that caregiver's hand and reassuring them, helping them actually simulate what it looks like in the home, figuring out the solutions to making it not just safe and appropriate for your loved one, but for the caregiver. For their caregiver. And so that became our big focus. I ended up hurting my back,
right? So I ended up hurting my back because it was a chair that had side rails, and they didn't fold down. So in order to get her in and out of the chair, I had to lift her up and over, right? So it was twist up, over, down, right? Twist up, over, down, and getting her in and out of everywhere. And of course, I ended up injuring myself. And, then of course, by that time, my mom, then, I was starting to get help. But it was just, boy, would it have been nice to know that I could call someone I could trust. And that someone could have told me, just call Cat. I'd have been like, absolutely, And I think that sometimes that's what our caregivers need, is to know that, not everyone's out there trying to get money from you. Not everyone's out there trying to, scam you. There's actually people out there who care, who get it, who are caregivers themselves. And that's really why I wanted you to meet the audience, and I wanted you to share about what you do. Because also, I think one of the things I want to talk about, the older adult home modification program that the federal government has too. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I do. I mean, so that's another one of my sort of pet peeves, and the ambitious side of me is that here we are, we make these recommendations for family caregivers. Medicare will pay for an occupational therapist to come out to your house and do recommendations and work on exercises for strength, but they won't pay for the actual recommendations made regarding home modifications. And so I did, the ambitious side of me tried, and we applied for a federal grant through Housing, Urban and Development's Healthy Homes Initiative. It's called the Older Adult Home Modification Program. And we were very proud to be awarded it with Palolo Chinese Home. They are our nonprofit who I'm very grateful for them for allowing us to house the grant within their faculty or facility. And then it's a evidence-based program that came out at Johns Hopkins University. They found that if you combine an occupational therapist, which is myself, a nurse, a contractor with up to $5,000 in funding for home modifications that help reduce falls, guess what? They reduced hospitalizations and falls. And Medicare is looking at it, but hasn't, made any changes. So we have about one more year of the grant, about 100 more seniors in Honolulu. Hawaii Kai to Aiea, Waimanalo to Kaneohe. Low-income seniors, we have about $5,000 for about 100 more seniors that fall in the low-income category. We can get into the logistics offline, but it'll allow for and pay for really big changes in their homes. $5,000 doesn't sound like a lot, but we have been installing. It's a lot. We've been installing automatic door openers for seniors that live in those apartment complexes that they can't open the door. Holds the door open. Yeah. We've been doing grab bars, handheld shower hoses, even with just a little hook. That actually, because those handheld shower hoses fall on the ground and then your loved one is trying to pick it up. We've been getting equipment for them to sit while they're bathed. I'm excited. So it's been really rewarding. So if anybody of the listeners, okay, wait, I'm jumping around, but I'm going to say one more thing. Okay. The other piece that I'm really passionate about, and I know there's something there, is we know that the home modifications we do are making an impact for our clients and loved ones, right? Reducing falls and hospitalizations. But what we want to study, and what I'm starting to study as much as I can in my small little setting, is that the quality of life of the caregiver that is helping their loved ones actually improves just a slight with home modifications. And we're showing that it works. I'm doing a pre and post, just quick questionnaire about caregiver burnout, caregiver burden. How what are things, are you having a hard time sleeping? Are you noticing big changes, with your mental health, things like that? And if they know that their loved one is home with a grab bar that is anchored into the wall correctly, and there's a non-slip mat in the shower, and their door opens safely, and there's a ramp.
No, it's massive. It's massive, Kat. Yes, it's absolutely massive. I'm going to share a quick story, because one of the very first things that we did when Give Me a Break was founded back in 2020 was we actually did we got some sponsors involved, and we were able to put in a chairlift, chairlift at a home of a caregiver who was taking care of her father-in-law. And what was happening was that he had to go to physical therapy twice a week. And he was on the course, but all they had were this flight of 15 stairs to get down out of the house.
Yikes.
And so she would leave work twice a day to go once to carry him down the stairs to get in the handy van, and then go back to work. And then when he went back home, she would leave work, carry him up the stairs on her back to get him back.
Yikes.
And so it was life-changing when we got this stair lift put in, because I have pictures of him just smiling like he's, the king of the world, sitting in this chair going up and down the stairs, because it also provided freedom of movement for him. And it was such an amazing thing. And it was it was under $3,000 worth of sponsorship. you know?
Right.
And so what can be done? Never think that you can't have something that you could need if you go out and reach out, because something like that can change someone's life. And yes, it could be just a grab bar and makes all the difference in the world, but it could also be something like a chairlift that can get somebody in and out of a home.
That's a
And
great example. That's
you
it.
know,
That's it. And
yeah.
then that person is returning to work. They're more focused at work. They're not losing. I know there's statistics on how much time you lose from being a caregiver, from your work hours
Yes.
and you know,
And that
earning
worry,
income.
I mean,
And worry. It's constantly on your mind.
Yes.
Constantly on your mind. So yeah, I'm really I'm not just an advocate for our patients and their clients. I'm really even more so looking at the caregiver and stopping them and asking them how they're doing and letting them know and telling them about caregiver burnout and really trying to kind of look them in the eye and see what they are doing for themselves.
I love that. And I love that more and more people are realizing that there's two patients in any
That's
situation.
right.
There's the one that's under care, and then there's one who cares. And so each one of them are patients and need support. And so thank you for seeing that and doing that. And I love that so much. We're going to run out of time, I know.
Oh.
And well, you and I could just go on forever, I know.
Yes.
So last thoughts before we close today.
I'm a resource to the community. You can look at my website, thriveforlife.com. You can give us a call, ask to talk to Kat. I'm happy to, you know, we are a for-profit company, but I'm happy to be a consultant or just try and point you in the right direction if you're having some difficulties with safety in the home.
Awesome. Thank you so much today for coming on and for sharing with us. And thank you for founding, you know, Thrive for Life, really. It's just something that I think everybody needs to know. You're out there, and you guys contact her, because she's got this grant right now, and by all means, it can help you out in some way or another. So please don't hesitate, contact her. The number's 808-797-2590. That's thriveforlife.com, or just give Kat a call, 808-797-2590. Mahalo from the heart. Thank you so much for coming on, Kat. Really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Aloha.
Thank you.
All right. Wow. See, amazing, right? I've told you I'd bring you resources, and now I'm bringing you even a way to pay for some of this. This is amazing. What great initiative she took to get this grant, and hopefully some of you will benefit from it. And if you do, please let me know, because I'd love to know that all of this is making a difference in our community, not just for caregivers only, but of course for the ones you care for, 2 patients that we're taking care of at one time. So mahalo for that. Thriveforlife.com, you guys. Get a hold of Kat, 808-797-2590. All righty. So with that, I do have another little announcement that I'll make because it's a little bit in the future, but we do have the care receiving workshops coming back. And we're going in for our second round. So our care receiving workshops, by the way, it's an 8-part series that covers everything you need to know in order to receive care. Think about it. As a caregiver now, you probably had to make decisions, had to figure things out, didn't have everything in place. It's probably running you broke, the financial part of it, every part of it, insurance part of it. Maybe you didn't even know all of that was in order. And so it made it really tough. I know it did for me. So we're changing that. With our workshop, which is a free 8-part series workshop, by the end of the workshop, you'll have started your folder that contains everything you need to receive care. Because guess what? We're all going to need to be taken care of at one point. Don't think that's not going to happen. Even if it were a sudden passing on your part, somebody still has to do the things after that and take care of all of those issues, all of those things that need to be taken care of. So care receiving plan coming up. Check our website, gab808.org/CRP. Free workshops. You can register now. They're coming up in September and October. And we'll have another 8-part series. And for those of you who were at our first session, know that if you missed any session or you want to repeat a session, absolutely come to the next one again too. There's always new information and we're always updating. Just remember to bring your folders with you, and please do register so that I know you're coming. You can re-register for the new session, okay? All righty. Wow. This season is packed full of amazing resources. Our 2 resources today were just phenomenal. But that's what we're doing. We're here to make sure that you have what you need from caregivers who get you. They're caregivers themselves. They know what it's like. And being in the field, they get it. They see what you're going through. Caregiver burnout is real, you guys. And we're here to change that. We're here to make sure you survive. All right. And as a reminder, our show is brought to you and paid for by Give Me a Break and Givers Guides Magazine. So please make that donation or become a monthly donor. That's the best thing you can do. Just go onto our website, gab808.org and /donate. All right. We do it for those who need that support. And I'd like to thank Bianca for being on. Bianca, you can go on and check her out and just laugh. Download that Laughly app or go to her YouTube page at Bianca Spears. And thank you, Dan from Navian, Hawaii, for being here, helping to navigate through all of the things that need to be done when it comes to care for our loved one and for recognizing that caregivers need that support too. Really appreciate that that's part of everything that you're doing at Navian Hawaii. So it's navianhawaii.org. And thank you, Kat, for being on with Thrive for Life. And you just started to talk with her. Wow, what amazing things going on in this grant. Oh my goodness, you guys, you need some help with getting them some accessibility. Contact her now. Call her now. thriveforlife.com. And next week, my guest will be Glenna Haidt, an amazing caregiver, and she's an author of the book, How Old Are You? It's a whole conversation about dementia, her mother being a daughter, and how the game that she's going to talk about transformed their lives. So it's all about a game. And we're going to find out about that game next week. It's going to be really great. Don't miss it. And so put a little reminder on your phones right now, 12 noon every Wednesday. We're here. And we're here live throughout our seasons. And then our season's going to rebroadcast. So if you missed it, don't worry. And if you're not able to sit and watch us, don't worry. We're on podcast about a week after each show. You can go onto any platform. And you can Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Google, gosh, they're all, iHeart, we're all on there. And just type in the Caring Caregiver Show. And there you are. And if you're not sure how to do that, then just go to our website, gab808.org/CCS for Caring Caregiver Show. And you can get connected right there, or you can listen to an audio right there. The bottom line is, caregivers, these resources are for you. Stay connected. Don't disconnect. Don't isolate. It's not worth it. Stay connected to your community, and we have everything you need to do that. All right? Can't wait to see you next week. Exciting show. In the meantime, remember, breathe. Take a breath. You probably haven't exhaled all day. Take a deep breath, and here's hoping that you're finding more joy in caregiving each week right here on the Caring Caregiver Show. Thanks for tuning in, and please always be kind to yourself and especially to those who care. Aloha, everyone. See you next week.